Hello! Today I'm going to be leading you through a yoga session that can be done either in the morning or the evening before you go to bed. That's going to be about 15 to 20 minutes to help you reconnect with your body, reconnect with your breath, build some strength in your upper body, your lower body, and your core, and help some gentle flexibility and stretching so you can feel a little bit looser, a little bit more grounded as you go into the rest of your day. Let's get started in a comfy seated position, or if you'd like to lay down on your mat, you can do that as well. And let's start with a couple really deep breaths. I say deep breaths, but you really don't have to make these deep or force anything. Just start to drop into a slow, steady breath and start to pay attention to your breath. Notice if there's anything you'd like to change or shift about your breath. Maybe you'd like to take your breath a little bit deeper into your chest, a little bit deeper into your lungs or into your low belly. Think about your body. Think about softening the space between your eyebrows, relaxing your jaw, softening your shoulders down your back, relaxing your hips down onto your mat, and noticing your awareness or your intention coming into your body, feeling like you really are embodied, alive in your skin right now, and notice what that feels like. Bring some gratitude in, thanking your body for showing up on your mat this morning, for everything that it allows you to do during the rest of your day. Anything else you want to thank yourself or your body for, take a moment to do that now, bringing in some gratitude. Stay here as long as you like. You can pause this video at any time if you want extra time on any of these exercises or poses. Before we begin to move, I invite you to set your intention for this time on your mat. Bring that to the front of your mind. Think about why you showed up here, what would help you feel the most like you want to feel by the time we're done. Hold that intention in the front of your mind and take a few more deep breaths. When you're ready, you can rock and roll your way onto all fours into a tabletop position, or you can swivel your legs around and come onto hands and knees. Your choice. However you want to get there, stack your shoulders over your wrists, hips over your knees, and start to take some gentle cat-cow motions. Inhaling your chin and chest forward, sliding your shoulder blades back, and then exhaling to round, tucking your hips under, chin to chest. Maybe take a few breaths in one of these poses, pausing to notice how that feels, pausing to wiggle and stretch. And then moving to the next one, stretching open your back body, tucking your chin, swaying side to side, front to back. Then find a gentle flow between the two poses and move with your inhales and exhales. Do that about 10 times at your own pace. Take about one more breath here. Inhale to arch, shoulder blades back. Exhale to round, hips tuck under. And then bring yourself back to a neutral spine, walking your fingers and hands forward, coming into a plank with your shoulders still over top of your wrists, but you're creating a different angle where your hips are in line with your shoulders and your knees. Or you can tuck your toes and lift your knees off the mat, making your body into a nice straight line. Either or is fine. Really build up some core strength and heat in your inner body while using this high plank. Inhale here, and then exhale back to your downward dog. Pause in each one for a moment or two, and then find a flow between these two poses. Inhale to high plank, exhale to downward dog. About 10 times at your own pace. While you're doing this, think about flowing with the breath and think about making a little bit of a wave with your spine as you shift forward, and then you can bend your knees as you shift back. Taking your time. Building some heat in the body, in the shoulders, and the core. Make sure you use your breath. A few more here. Take one more, and then on your next inhale, come to your plank, hold for a few breaths. On your next exhale, take it to your downward dog. Inhale your right leg up to the sky, three-legged dog. And on your exhale, take your right leg through and place it between your hands, finding your high runner's lunge. Keeping your back heel lifted, your left leg is straight and strong. Inhale your arms up, finding your crescent lunge. If you want this lunge to be a little easier, step your back foot forward, decreasing the angle of the legs. If you want it to be harder, step it back. Stay here for about 10 breaths. Lean a little deeper into your lunge to get that leg strengthening exercise. Reach your fingertips to the sky, rotating your arms forward so your pinkies are facing forward toward the top of your mat. Pay attention to your belly button. Breathe and pull your belly button in toward your spine. Relax your shoulders down your back. And find some ease while you are working hard in this pose. Come back to your breath. On your next exhale, take your hands down and place them on your hips. And turn your left toes out about 45 degrees and create a little space widthwise in between your feet. And then start to turn your hips and shoulders back to the front of the mat, finding your warrior one legs. And then inhale your arms back up. Stay here for about 10 breaths. The key here is getting deep enough into your lunge where you're feeling the challenge, you're feeling the shake, but you're also feeling a nice stretch in the front of the left hip, your inner thigh, and opening your heart center. Just like we did in crescent lunge, pull your belly button into the spine. Exhale your shoulders down your back and breathe. If you need an extra challenge, come deeper into your lunge. Reach your pinkies higher toward the sky. Last few breaths. On your last inhale, reach your hands up to the sky. Exhale, take your hands down and frame the front foot on the mat. Take your right foot to the front or to the center of your mat. Shift all of your weight onto the right foot and lift your left leg. And you can keep your hands on the mat for a grounded warrior three, or lift your hands or place them on your hips by your side at your heart center, or stretch them out in front of you, biceps by your ears. This is your warrior three. Find a nice strong variation of warrior three that works for your body here, and we're gonna hold. Good, pull your belly button into your spine. If your left hip feels like it's opening up toward the side, drop it back down. Try to square your shoulders and your hips to the mat. Taking about 10 breaths here. Breathe. Take your time. Take your hands back down to the mat whenever you need to. A few more breaths. Lengthen through the crown of your head. Make your spine really long. Last breath. And when you're ready, take your left foot back to the back of the mat. Place your hands shoulder width apart and step it back to your downward dog. Then shift forward, coming onto your knees, coming back to that modified plank here, or take it up to your high plank, your choice. And exhale, lower yourself down to the mat for your chaturanga low push-up. Option to add a couple extra push-ups here if you want to. But when you're ready, inhale, curl your chest up off the mat, allowing your hips to rest down and your shoulder blades to pull back for a baby cobra. Deep inhale here, and then exhale, tuck your toes, send it back to your downward dog. Flow through that a few more times at your own pace. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower down. Add in push-ups if you want to. Inhale, curl up. And exhale, back to down dog. Good. Let's take 3 more. Take your time, finish out your last one, and meet me back in your down dog when you're ready. When you've made it back to your downward dog, we'll start the second side of the standing flow. Inhale, left leg up to the sky, 3-legged dog. Then exhale, take the left foot through, place it between your hands at the top of the mat. Inhale, reach your arms up for your crescent lunge. Adjust your feet however you need to, maybe stepping that back foot forward, stepping it further back, bending the front knee a little bit more, squaring your shoulders and your hips to the front, keeping your arms lifted and pulling your belly button in just a hair so you lengthen through the spine, up through the crown of your head. We're here for about 10 breaths. Take your time. Good. When you're ready, exhale your hands down to your hips and adjust your back foot to come into warrior one. So your right toes this time will face out about 45 degrees. Anchor the blade edge of your right foot down to the mat, and then exhale, sink deeper into your lunge and square your hips and shoulders to the front of the mat again. Inhale, arms up, Virabhadrasana 1. Come back to your breath. If it's not challenging enough, sink a little deeper into your lunge or lift your hands a little higher, breathe slower. A few more breaths here. On your last breath, exhale your hands down and frame them at the top of your mat on either side of your left foot. Step your left foot back to where it comes into the middle of your mat, keeping a little weight on your hands for the assist. Inhale, right leg lifts, and then you can either keep your hands on the mat or lift them wherever they want to go for warrior 3. Good. Come back to your breath. Let's hold this beautiful warrior 3 for about 10 breaths. Slight bend in your standing knee. That will help stabilize your knee joint a little bit more. Try not to lock it all the way out. Flex your right foot and lift a little higher, engaging your glutes, pulling your belly button into your spine, Lift through the crown of your head and breathe. Really good job here. Take about one more deep breath. On your last one, take your right foot back to the back of the mat. Take both hands down to the front and step or hop up to your plank. Knees can be up or down. Let's flow through that Chaturanga Cobra Down Dog series a few more times. Inhale in your plank. Exhale, slowly lower yourself down. Inhale, curl your chest up. And then exhale, tuck your toes back to down dog. Beautiful job. Take that 4 more times at your own pace. Inhale forward. Exhale lower. Inhale, curl up. Exhale, down dog. Add in a few extra push-ups or a little plank hold anytime you want to challenge yourself. Take one more time through that flow. Once you've made it back to your downward dog, we're going to move toward pigeon stretch. Inhale your right leg up to the sky, and exhale, shift your knee forward, placing your shin on the mat. There are a few options here. Option 1 is you can take your left foot and just leave it straight behind you, making sure you're balanced up on your hips and you're not falling over to the side there. Option 2 is you can allow that right hip to fall over to the side and bend your left knee a little bit to create more of a deer pose or a modified pigeon where you have about a 90-degree bend in both of your knees. If you want to stay in that regular half pigeon, then the option or the invitation is to stay upright, maybe lift your back foot. You can reach for the back foot with your hand, or you can lean forward over the front knee and breathe and stretch deep into the hip. This pose stretches the piriformis muscle, which is a muscle deep down inside your hip joint. But if you come back to this deer position with about a 90-degree angle in both your knees, we can add in a strength exercise called a piriformis push-up, which is a really good mobility exercise in deep hip strengthening. So to do the push-up, stay in your deer pose, 90-degree bend in both knees. Inhale your spine nice and long, chest is up. Exhale forward, using your hands not to put all of your weight in them, just as a little kickstand. Come forward, and then using the power of your right hip, inhale your upper body back up. So it's a little push-up for that inner thigh, inner hip muscle. Inhale back up. Exhale forward. So do about 10 of these piriformis push-ups here. And if you're not used to doing a lot of hip mobility work or you've never done these before, yes, it might feel a little tender. That's okay. Go easy the first time you do it. Use your hands as much as you need to for a little support to take the load off using a hip muscle entirely, or maybe try to do it no hands. See how your hip muscle likes that. You can do about 10 of these, or you're holding your pigeon pose right now and just enjoying a nice stretch. If you want longer in your pigeon pose, then pause this video, take as long as you want, really get deep into the hip, nice juicy stretch there. When you're ready to come out of it, start to release, start to straighten that back knee, reaching the left foot back toward the back of the mat. Tuck your toe and exhale, send yourself back to your down dog. Take a moment to breathe and notice the difference in the two sides. Walking your hips side to side, stretching out your calves. Relax your neck, nod your head yes, shake your head no. Then inhale your left leg up to the sky, three-legged dog, and exhale, take it through, placing your shin towards the front of the mat and finding your half pigeon on the other side. Again, your options here are to stay upright, right leg is straight back to the back of the mat, or you can rock and roll over onto that left hip, finding about a 90-degree angle in both of your knees for deer pose. If you're in your half pigeon upright style, you can bend the back knee, reach for your back foot, careful on your quad muscle, or you can lean forward and enjoy that really deep stretching in the internal workings of your left hip, taking about 10 or more slow, long, deep breaths here. If you want to do those piriformis push-ups, remember, come up, find about a 95-degree angle in both the knees, and take your chest exhaling down toward the mat, inhaling back up. Use your hands as much as you need to as a little support, but making the majority of the work be in that left hip. The piriformis muscle tends to get really, really tight if you do a lot of walking, running, cycling, or even just sitting at your desk. And so this strengthening exercise helps to give it a little bit more resiliency to those things that cause it to tighten up and causes a lot of pain. I also like taking a tennis or lacrosse ball and rolling out the inner inside of your hip, just right by your femur bone in there, and that's going to be your piriformis muscle too. So finish out your last few piriformis push-ups or enjoy your last few breaths in your pigeon stretch. We're right at about the 20-minute mark here. So if you need to go, if there's something else you need to do, feel free to take this 20 minutes and that can be it for today for your yoga practice. If you've got a few more minutes, let's do one more stretch and then a nice Shavasana relaxation at the end. So swiveling around, coming into a seated position, we're going to move into a mermaid spinal twist. First, take your right leg out straight, take your left foot up and over, left hand to the mat, inhale, right arm reaches up. And your chest and upper body as you exhale are going to turn to the left. And find a few options with your hands. Option 1, you can just wrap the hand around your knee. Option 2, take your right elbow to the outside of left knee. Or option 3, just take it down to the mat. Another option, if you have the space in your hips, is to bend your bottom knee and draw your hip back toward your heel. So both of your knees are bent, but you still have the left ankle on the outside of the right knee. And find your mermaid twist from here. Relax your shoulders down your back. Inhale through the crown of your head, sit up nice and tall, and exhale, twist, finding a little bit deeper stretch. Taking about 10 total breaths here. Feeling free to take more if that's what your body needs today. If and when you're ready, slowly inhale, relax your right arm back down by your side, start to unwind your knees, unwind your hips, shake it out, and let's do the other side. Left leg goes long, right leg steps up and over. Right hand comes to the mat just by your hip. Inhale, left arm reaches up. Exhale, twisting your upper body and spine and chest toward the right. You can wrap your elbow, take your elbow to the back of the knee, or place that left hand on the mat. Option, if you want to bend your left knee, draw your left heel back toward your right hip, and find a fully twisted mermaid here. Take about 10 breaths. Take your time. Deep inhale, lengthen the crown of your head up, sit up nice and tall, and as you exhale, look deeper over your right shoulder without collapsing into the pose. Keep your spine nice and straight. Take as long as you need here in this pose. If and when you're ready to move, start to inhale, unwind. Take your hands back behind your hips, unwind your feet, give them a nice shake, and roll onto your back. If there are any other stretches or exercises you'd like to take here on your back, please feel free to take them at your own pace, add in anything that feels good for your body, and then you can make your way into a nice relaxing Shavasana pose on your back, on your side, or on your belly, whatever feels good. And so I'm going to end our video here, but I invite you to take at least 1 minute, if not longer, if you have it, about 5 minutes, to relax into your Shavasana, your final resting pose, to allow your body, your mind, your muscles, your joints, your nervous system, and your heart to integrate the benefits of your yoga practice. I promise you won't regret it. So take that time if you have it. And feel free to extend your yoga practice a little bit longer if you have more time. Feel free to add in anything else that feels really good on your body. And I hope you enjoyed our yoga class today. Please let me know if you have any questions. Have a great rest of your day.